NBC FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Players. Welcome once again to TPC Sawgrass for the Players. This is Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, set to bring you all the action. And Frank, the 17th hole is always the place to be during this great championship.
It certainly is, Rich. The energy, as we know, each and every year has just been electric at 17, and I don't expect it to be any different today.
And now we go down to the action at the first. On the first tee, our featured golfer, Frank, has to be brimming with confidence.
They have to feed off the round from the previous day, Rich. It was a very, very good performance, and we're going to soon find out and see what these opening swings are like.
Wow, that is a monster drive down there, about 315 yards. Strong winds have been a factor all day here, Frank. What's the key to scoring low in conditions like this?
Well, sometimes you've almost got to make the ball go to ground. You've just got to keep it out of those high breezes, play away from the trouble.
Third shot, looking for a good one. And it is in.
Amazing. Amazing.
Now to the second. Frank, what do you make of this hole?
Well, over the years, we've seen more and more people hitting 3-wood off this tee. And the 3-wood's normally easier to draw, and it doesn't run out down that right side.
Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon.
And that's going to stay on the fairway here at the second hole.
Second shot. Every time we go back to the Players, there's always the talk. You know, the meetings that we always have, too much about 17. And yet, everywhere we go all over the world, and even when I played there, the one hole that was talked about in the locker room was 17, how unfair or fair it was that day. And it's the one hole that spectators always talk about. So in a way, 17 is TPC Sawgrass.
You know, Phil Mickelson always said it's like walking on a balance beam, that if it's 2 feet off the ground, it's no big deal. But if you raise that to 25 feet off the ground, yes, it's the same task, it's that same beam, but you know, you look down and you're in some trouble. It's the moment that makes it really hard. And when that crowd goes silent, and they always do, especially on a Sunday, when that ball is airborne, they go silent for that 2 or 3 seconds while it's hanging in midair, and you don't know, wet or dry, victory or defeat. It's really still one of the best moments in the game.
Yeah, 17 is golf's version of vertigo.
This will require a good strike from 180 yards away. Frank, over the course of the last 15 years or so, there have been a number of initiatives within the game of golf just to try to grow the sport.
Yeah, we've seen the PGA Junior League, which is a series of competitions, obviously, for juniors to play. But the first tee really is worldwide now, just to try and introduce players from all over the world into the game of golf. They're introduced with club professionals. They learn skills that are essential really to play the game of golf. But in 2014 was a real step, what I think, in the right direction to showcase the junior talent around the world with the drive, chip and putt, where you actually get a chance to play the drive, chip and putt final at Augusta National, the home of the Masters.
Imagine young kids, boys and girls, 8 years old, 11 years old, being able to go home and tell their friends, tell their families, hey, I have something in common with Jack Nicklaus, with Arnold Palmer, with Phil Mickelson, with Tiger Woods. I won at Augusta National Golf Club. Continues to hold that sizable lead on the rest of the field. So much focus here, Frank, on 16, 17, and 18. Number 4 is a hole that gets overlooked, but it's a fun one.
Yeah, the second shot here is more daunting, especially when that flag's on the left. So you really do start looking at that blue stuff, water.
It's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Frank, this is a way to make golf easy when you can hit it that deep.
Oh, I'm going to say, I know that first number's a 3. I'm guessing the second one's a 2. Let's call it 320. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
That will be a great look at birdie. Getting set now over the putt. Once considered the best PGA teaching pro in the country, our featured golfer makes birdie and now sits comfortably inside the cut line. Frank, how about this par 4 fifth?
I lost count the number of bunkers here, off the tee and sort of in play with the second shot if you're in trouble, or even the one that's sort of left and long. Really good par 4 though. Fairway somehow has to be achieved if you want to reduce this par 4 to just a simple 2-shotter.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank getting set for the second shot here at the 5th. What's the best way to go at it?
Rich, it's one of the hardest par 4s on the golf course. There's nothing wrong with aiming right at the middle of the green here. You can certainly putt to where the flag is from there.
Well, this is the kind of strong wind that will really test a player. Birdie try up next. Just want to nestle this one down to within a couple of feet. Oh my gosh, that hurts. That's a nice lag putt. Frank, what would you focus on a long putt?
That 3-foot circle. Obviously, you allow yourself a little bit more the further and further away you get, but just expectations, lower them a little bit. There's certain distances, just take 2.
Frank, this isn't a hole that sort of jumps out at you the way, say, 17 does.
Yeah, a lot of times people will just sort of gloss over it, but anytime you get a par 4 into 400 yards, it's a great opportunity. But once again, a positional hole. Take advantage of it.
Excellent drive right there, Frank.
Circa 310.
Frank, now the second shot here at hole number 6.
Yeah, not overly long, but be very aware of these palm trees that are short. Many a shot's caught those trees coming into this green.
Frank, there's a real art to putting a good score on the board, isn't there?
Yeah, that's why stroke play is so tough, Rich. You're trying to minimize everything on a golf course, turn a 6 into a 5 or a 4 into a 3. It's like even off the edge of a green, trying to get up and down in 2 rather than 3. And you've got to do it for 18 straight holes. If it's a 72-hole tournament, then you've got to do it for 4 straight days. And that's why that's always been the best predictor of our best players. The ones that can go 4 days and make the least number of mistakes.
Did the job right there. Frank, what do you think of the 7th?
Interesting par 4 for 2 reasons. The undulating green on the end of the hole that also shapes to the right, that makes it look like a dogleg right. But really, you want to play that tee shot just inside those pot bunkers down the right side.
Hold on here a second. She is winding up for a big one. She wants to smash this as far as she can hit it.
Can a ball explode?
That is big. I mean, really big.
Oh, huge. Huge with a capital H.
Busted that.
I've seen some long tee shots, but it's the advantage to tee that ball up, get it up there quickly, get the wind behind you. It's amazing how far you can hit it. What are the chances of making it from there?
Seventh hole here at Sawgrass, Frank, a bit uncomfortable off the tee.
It is. It reminds me a little bit of the opening hole, much longer version, where when you stand on the tee and look at the green, it's a straightaway hole. But that fairway goes to the left, then it comes back to the right. But they're all optical illusions.
Not a single weakness today. What a performance. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Beautiful touch, nice putt. Frank, what do you make of the final hole here on the front side, the 583-yard par 5 ninth?
Just depends on how much you want to risk here. If you hit a good drive down the right side, it's certainly gettable for 2, but you can make an absolute mess here at 9. Well, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it?
Okay, the second shot now at this par 5. He in the bunker, still with a chance for an up and down. He in the green side bunker, Frank, little bit of a problem. Birdie try up next. Frank, we have said it over and over. Another birdie. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Looks to be a good setup going into the green here at the 10th. Second shot now at the 10th, and again, Frank, accuracy is at a premium.
Yeah, gone are the days to sort of thrash it out of the trees like Phil Mickelson. Ideally, coming out of that fairway, you're hitting to a green that moves to the right, so that makes it a little bit more difficult than what the mind's eye first sees.
This one looks like it might have a postage stamp on it. Airmail City.
Yeah, lick it. Send it.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
That's how the best in the world play it, Frank.
Well, I tell you, a little lucky that it went in, but it was always going to be close.
Now to the 11th, par 5.
Good tee shot, and then you certainly think about hitting a hybrid or a lofted fairway wood into this green that's really narrow, one of the narrowest on the golf course. There's a little pot bunker left of this green when you go for 2 that often swallows up that second shot if it's a little bit too conservative, but there's a lake there. Seen more than one ball splash in the pond over the years.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
All right, Frank, the 11th is a reachable. What's the right strategy?
Well, it feels like that green should be about another 30 or 40 yards to the right, Rich. Makes the player aim left, and it's such a narrow green, but it's worth the risk.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Here now, the 12th hole at the TPC Sawgrass. It's a 358-yard par 4, so short on the card, Frank, but obviously a challenge. What's the key here?
Once again, trying to find that right position on the fairway, and that's down the right side. Anything down the left, that mound is going to block your view.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up? It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Just another solid shot, about 8 feet from the hole. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Frank, so much focus on the back nine here at the stadium course at TPC Sawgrass on the 17th hole with the island green. I think 13 gets lost sometimes, but the pros know this is a really good hole.
Oh, it can be disastrous too. That's, I think, what you're referring to, Rich. There's a big ridge in the middle of this green that bisects the top side with the bottom side on the left. So even when the flag's on the left, you don't have to go directly at it, because that normally causes the problem with the wooden bulkheads down the left side and obviously the water left of that. So something on the ridge can often run down towards the left. But we have seen the odd hole-in-one here over the years.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Drops it in for birdie. All right, Frank, this one gets everybody's attention. 14th, 481 yards, par 4.
It's not just the length of this hole. Water down the left, mounds to the right. This is it. You've got to buckle up here. Tee it up. This has to be your best swing.
Wow, I mean, she absolutely annihilated that tee ball. That, Frank, is position A.
Wouldn't you like to have that in your bag every day?
Love it. Frank, there's a lot to factor in on this approach at the 14th.
You can favor right side of this green and sort of allow the contours of the green just to move that ball to the left.
This one's looking good. What a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
That incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up. Virtually no error in that putting stroke. Good putt.
If you're just joining us, we're at the 15th hole here at TPC Sawgrass. 449-yard par 4. Frank, what's in store here?
One of the prettiest tee shots on the golf course, Rich. Once again, you're coming out of a chute of trees, big bunker down the right side. Really, you want to hug that right side, though. It gives you a better entry into this green.
Frank, about 150 yards to that whole location. Good swing, good shot yet again. On the green, and a chance for birdie. This is a pretty long putt here. You'd be happy to get this to within 2 or 3 feet. You really want to take the stress out of that next putt. So close. That was not a very good read right there. Locked in on the read and the speed. That's a nice confidence builder right there. You make those for par, and you keep things steady. Now the start of the gauntlet. 16, 17, and 18. Par 5, 16. Frank, Tiger made birdie here all 4 days in winning in 2013.
Fred Couples made that fantastic eagle many years ago. Hole bends a little to the player's left. You don't have to hit driver here if you're a long hitter, but you really must move that ball right to left.
Good lie in the fairway. Good chance to make something happen here. didn't check, Frank.
Yeah, just not enough spin on that, really. I mean, that almost like took that first bounce and just ricocheted forward.
Oh, dude, that in the hole. Tremendous shot. Now to maybe the most famous hole in the whole sport. It's the 17th here at the stadium course, the TPC Sawgrass. Frank, if you look at it on the card, it seems so simple. It's just 137 yards. For the best in the world, that's a pitching wedge, maybe a 9-iron. And yet every year we see nightmares galore.
And that's where you have to remind yourself what can and what does happen here. I normally cut the green in half here. It's 26 yards deep. So if you just take 13 yards off the yardage, you have 124 yards to the middle of the green. That has to be your target. This is no time to be a hero. You can still have a putt for birdie. Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
She is putting the full arsenal of her skill set on display this afternoon. Beautiful shot. Good putt. Now to the 18th hole here at TPC Sawgrass, 462-yard par 4, Frank, and another example of visual intimidation from the designer Pete Dye.
Those wooden bulkheads that go all the way down the left side of 18 give you like an optical illusion, Rich. And there's not a single fairway bunker on the right to give you something specifically to aim at. So you've got to fixate on one of those trees. This is not a hole where you want to be looking at anything other than a specific target.
Up with the big boys now, Frank.
Well, we saw that previous tee shot go 310. This one's further.
Sit down. Get down.
Oh, this is gone.
That will be a great look at birdie. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
Just a couple of feet.
Just dwindling the holes down. Pars are fine right now.
There you have it. The second round is complete. Another solid effort put together, and it shows on the scorecard.
And after 2 rounds, you really start to see not only who's playing well, but who's consistent.